That's the sound, that pulsating sound. It's the sound of a Tremo-Luxe. That's what I think of when I think about what does a Tremo-Luxe sound like. Now, we got two different Tremo-Luxes we're talking about today because you probably saw that recently Tone Junkie put out both the 63 Tremo-Luxe and the 64 Tremo-Luxe pack. In fact, check out those beautiful packs right there. Those are great, both 64 and 63 Tremo-Luxe. Now, let's talk about the differences in these amps for a minute, and then I just want to show you what they sound like and what you're going to find inside. For those people who buy all the Tone Junkie packs, or if you're just on the fence, or maybe you're like, you know what, HW, just one Tremo-Luxe was enough for me. All right? I'm not a Tremomaniac. I'm just a Tremo-normal dude. And I only need one Tremo-Luxe. Don't worry, man. I got you covered. I got you covered. Let me tell you something. Both of these Tremo-Luxes were beautiful, beautiful vintage examples that were nearly untouched. You know, some cap replacements and stuff. Just the stuff that has to be done. But other than that, everything was original. Beautiful amps, and they had their matching cabs. Now, I previously had done another 63 Trem-Luxe, and we didn't have the matching cab, and that amp had some work done to it. Also original, but I just wasn't. It had been through some things. That's all I'm gonna say. Great sounding pack, just not the most vintage correct, I think, in my opinion, looking back. So what you just heard there was a 1963 Tremo-Luxe N2. It sounds beautiful. It sounds lovely. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock all these effects so that let me do this stretch here. Nope, can't do it. So that you can hear the same effects on everything. And so now I'm going to switch to, that was the normal channel. Now over here, I'm going to jump to the normal channel of the 64 Tremo-Luxe. And here's why I want to do that. I want to show you kind of the differences in these two and how they relate and how they kind of compare the sound of these two amps. So now here's the blackface one. Before it was the brownface. Now here's the blackface. In person, they're very different amps. You get a much more scooped quality, and really, there's actually less of the low end, and you really get a nice humpy kind of mid thing that is a little bit different than you get of the Tremo-Luxe because of the miking techniques. I use different mics. I use the Royer on the Tremo-Luxe, the 64 Tremo-Luxe, and then I use the Fathead on the 63. Why? Well, with the bright switch on the 64, the blackface amp, you get this beautiful, beautiful sort of high end that I didn't want to get in the way of. And it's really not an aggressive sound. Here it is. The amp's kind of cooking, you know, at this point. But here's 1964 Tremo-Luxe NB3. Check that out. To me, that's the beautiful 60s blackface sound, the real blackface sound. Doing these profiles even made me think, I think I know the direction I want to go with the 65 collection, which the 65 collection, if you haven't heard, is my next big project where we're working on. I now own every blackface amp from 1965. Well, I own some are 64, some are 66s, but from the blackface era. And I want to do them all in a way that captures them sort of true to how they sound to each other. And this mic placement and this mic accompaniment on the blackface Trem-Luxe is just beautiful. It's a lot less rockin' than you get in the 63. Let me show you what I mean, because now I'm going to go to the bright Trem-Luxe 63, the brown face. It's more tweedy. It's more raucous. It sounds like this. I mean, listen, enough of this. What do you really want to do when you hear something like that? It's a lot different. You know what I mean? It's not, what's so weird about the blackface versus brownface thing was they're coming out of the tweed era and they've got all this grit and grunt in some of the amps. But you know, even those tweed amps, they were made to be clean. They just weren't that good at it. You know, they weren't trying to, I mean, Leo Fender wasn't trying to like create rock and roll. That didn't happen till later. They were trying to figure out how to get these amps clean, and the brownface ones, they get bigger, the wattages go up, you know, they start using Tolex, and they start getting the, you know, the trem and stuff, and it all starts working together, and then eventually we end up at sort of what I think is Leo's best work overall, the blackface, because it gives you these beautiful, beautiful clean tones. But man, they had some hits with the browns, and it's just beautiful stuff. Now, how is that different? Well, you know, on the 63, there's a normal channel and a bright channel, and so that's what you get, you know, and you can get super dirty with it, and you can make these, rock amps. You know what I'm saying? They can be that. They can rock. Put a little boost in front of that thing. Little boost. Little plus. You know what the plus means on most Tone Junkie packs? Almost all Tone Junkie packs. It means the climb. That's rock and roll, man. That's rock and roll. But, what's surprising is you get a surprising amount of gain. And by the way, we put some tube screamers in here. Like when I heard that, I was like, I got to do some tube screamer stuff. So here's the 808 on there, and it sounds like this. It's broken up, and then the screamy's broken up, and then it's just cray, 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 screamy, cray broken up. You know what I'm saying? And then you come over here, and now that was all the normal stuff. Let me show you vibrato channel on the see, you get this other channel. You get normal and bright on the 63, but on the 64, since it's blackface, you get both channels. The vibrato channel has this normal and bright, and VB is where I actually want to live. Like, I bought property, it's right on the beach, it's on VB Beach, because that's just the sound that I dig, Nice and kind of spank, almost you get to like that telly-esque kind of thing, but bring it up to the neck, and you got this whole thing. That's it. Cleaner, more scoopy, but also the way I mic'd it makes it pretty like nice scoopy, like punchy scoopy rather than like scoopy, if that makes sense. You know, it makes it makes the 64 how I want a blackface to sound. And both these amps have a very punchy quality, but we're not comparing them to 12-inch speakers. The 10-inch speakers give them the punchy quality, but we're not comparing them to other amps that don't have that. So they both have this punch, but you're going to get a much more rockin' thing, and you're going to struggle a bit to stay clean with the brownface, the 63. Whereas the blackface 64, you're really going to love. It's going to feel more put together, and not as wild, out of control, but there's still a lot of gain. There's still a lot of gain because here's NB, you know, real quick, NB4 plus. I mean, that's brilliant. That's beautiful. I've been HW. You've been watching Tone Junkie TV. Like, subscribe if you get anything out of these videos. Check out these packs. If you're not signed up for the email, there's free tones in the email. Why aren't you getting them? I don't know. I tried to tell people about it. I make a YouTube channel. I make dozens and dozens of videos. I make posts. Sign up for the free emails. I'm giving free stuff away. You don't like free stuff? You don't like me. HW. Out.